Welcome, everyone. And those on Zoom, we ask you to please mute your microphone. And those, take a minute now to check in on your MySpace page or whatever. Now, to begin the meeting, we'll start with a moment of silence to remember Rotarian Frank Eastman. Thank you, Rotarians. Leading our invocation today is Craig Escamilla, consultant and owner of CAE Solutions. Pledges by Todd Semino. He's the Chief Financial Officer, City of Beaumont. And introduction of guests by Barb Newhouse, President and CEO of Southeast Texas Food Bank. Craig?
Good afternoon. A quote from the 2nd century Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. For the mind adapts and converts any obstacle to its action into a means of achieving it. That which is an impediment to action is turned to advance action. The obstacle on the path becomes the way. Please join me in prayer. God, you allow obstacles to enter our paths. You could shield us from these, but you allow us to meet, struggle with, confront, and often overcome them. In the scriptures, you tell us plainly why when you say, "My grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness." When we weakly encounter obstacles, your strength is able to shine to help us make the obstacle the way. May we never forget that, most often, the way is through, and that in those moments, your grace is enough and your power is perfect. Amen.
Please join me in the pledges. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
I got the head nod from the boss, so I get to do this now. All right. We have a Misty Fountain, guest of Jackie Chapman. Okay. Cassie Simpson, guest of Amanda Ellis. Janina Irving, guest of Lynn Hill. Jess Prince, guest of Lynn Hill. Casey Bass, guest of Kevin Reed. Marcus Vesquez, guest of Steve Lucas. Kim Johns, guest of Dee Lane. Brandon Fisher, guest of Josh Smith. Amber Sawyer, guest of Sherry Pierce. Jennifer Kelly, guest of Tish Cornell. Heidi McCabe, guest McCabe. Reese McCabe, guest of Sharon McCabe. Jamie Tepic, guest of James Broussard. Erica Harris, guest of Teresa Simpson. Joseph Trahan, guest of Sherry Pierce. We welcome you all and are delighted and look forward to having you join Rotary.
To provide us update on board action, Board Secretary on his way, Dana Timaeus.
The Board of Directors held a monthly meeting yesterday. We approved a classification change for a lady that I always admired and wanted to be like Vernon Pierce, Deborah Drago, select your choice of mispronunciation from Executive Director, Southeast Texas Nonprofit Development Center, former classification to from Associations Nonprofit Development Center to Customer Service Specialist, Entergy Texas Inc., classification, Electrical Industry Customer Service. We also approved the return of a former member recently sojourning in Port Arthur, Kenneth Kenny Blanda, Senior Executive Director, Magnolia Manor Cantex. His classification is Healthcare Nursing Services. The next monthly meeting of the board will be on September 28th. The meetings are open to any member who would like to attend, and it's a good way to earn a makeup or check off one of those red badge items. Please let Jackie know in advance if you would like to attend.
Thank you, Dana. To think he read through that once or twice. To give us an update on Wind Down with Rotary, Cindy Cherry. She's the sponsorship chair.
Hello, Rotarians and guests. First of all, I want to acknowledge our current sponsors. At the Champaign level, we have JK Chevrolet Subaru and Mason Construction. Pinot Noir level, American Valve and Hydrant, and our Merlot level, Tri-Oak Financial. Those are our top sponsorships right now. If you would like to help sponsor Wind Down with Rotary, all of the money goes to such a good cause. It goes to help our scholarships at both LIT and our high school students that are coming out and going into the university to get their 4-year scholarships, youth programs, our layette projects. There's just so many things, our books that we do at Martin Elementary. There's so many things that this money does good things around our community with. So if you would like to be a sponsor, please get with Jackie or me so we can add you to the list and get your logo up and let everybody see. And also, where they're asking for scratch-off tickets or gift cards or one in both to put together some baskets to use for the raffle. We are, at this point, set for October 7th. They are taking into consideration everything that's going on, and we'll make a determination before. So if we do have to make any changes, but we are trying our best to to do what we can to try to make this happen. So at this point, we're just powering through and appreciate the sponsorships that we have. And if you would like to join us, please get with Jackie or me. Thanks.
Thank you, Past President Cindy Cherry. To talk to us about Rotary After Hours, Carrie Timberlake. She's Communications Marketing Manager, McFadden Ward House Museum. Kara?
Well, thank you. What a fabulous introduction. Brought back my drill team days. So we're very excited for tomorrow's Rotary After Hours. It'll be held at the John Jay French Museum from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. We hope you can come on out and make it. We're going to have some light snacks. We're going to have food. You can tour the first floor of the home, learn a little bit more about this historic site. And then, of course, we're going to have games. We're actually going to bring it back old school. I'm talking about 1845 old school. So we're going to learn how to play Graces as well. Fun for kids and adults alike. So we hope you can come out, join us, bring a friend. We'd love to have you. So thank you.
Thank you, Kara. Now to introduce our guest speaker, Uliana Tralowski, Development Officer, Lamar University. Uliana?
Thank you, President Brown. Robin Donata Mouton is a lifelong resident of Beaumont, Texas, and a 1978 graduate of Hebert High School. After enjoying a successful career as a sales executive for AT&T for 32 years, Mayor Mouton retired in 2010. But retirement did not slow her down at all. Robin's passion for neighborhood and community programs is displayed through her lifelong commitment to volunteerism, serving at neighborhood schools, churches, and local foundations. A member of the Communication Workers of America Union, Robin previously served in leadership roles for many union programs. Here's a brief list of some of Robin's affiliations. Board member, National League of Cities, serving on the Public Safety Crime Prevention Committee. Board member, National Black Caucus of Local Elected Officials. Member, Women in Municipal Government. Board member, Texas Municipal League. Board member, Texas Association of Black City Council Members. Co-chair, Greater South Park Neighbors Partnership Committee, and member of the Black Telecommunication Professionals. Robin Mouton was elected to the Beaumont City Council in 2015 and served until this past May. She also served 2 tours as Mayor Pro Tem. In the spring of this year, after a close runoff election, Robin Donata Mouton became Mayor of Beaumont. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to our Mayor, Mayor Mouton.
Good afternoon. Again, I am Robin Donata Mouton, your newly elected mayor of Beaumont. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about my new position, excited about the new council and where we're headed. There are a lot of things that I ran on. I ran on unity in our city, unifying our council, and more importantly, some of the issues that citizens spoke about. Citizens were very concerned about our brown water issue, our flooding issue, and crime, and of course, our quality of life in Beaumont. So since June 29th, I can tell you some of the things that have already transpired and taken place. Upon being sworn in a historic election, nothing that I planned, because when I started out to run in January, little did I know that President Biden would put into office and sign Juneteenth as a national holiday. Thank you. As a matter of fact, we thought it was one of the worst days that we could ever have for an election day. We thought everyone would be at the park, everyone would be at the beach, everyone would be celebrating Juneteenth, especially in my community and in my ward. So we thought that is one of the worst days we could have ever picked. Of course, I didn't choose it. It was already chosen prior to the runoff. So looking at that, and lo and behold, the Thursday before the election, President Biden signs this holiday as a national holiday, which I think only God above could have lined that up so perfectly for a Juneteenth election. So moving forward, I win the election, and then I'm sworn in on June 29th. From that day forward, I have been so busy, busier than I would have ever thought. Not to mention that I had neck surgery 2 weeks after my election, and today is the first day that I am not wearing my bandages that you probably have seen on my interviews and on council. But it was all part of the plan, and I thank God for the position that I'm in today to lead this great city. Some of the things I want to tell you about moving forward since June 29th, first day of my very first council meeting, we gave our employees a much needed bonus because they had not received a raise in 2 years. It was not what we would have liked to have done, but it was better than doing nothing. And so many of them were so appreciative because they called and they said, thank you. This money was right on time because school was getting ready to start. And they said it was needed. Then after that, of course, we decided, the council, to vote on the AT&T building. So that building was voted upon. It was approved. We took possession of that building on last week. That was a building I had not been in for over 10 years. And on Monday, I got an opportunity to walk back into that building. And boy, if walls could talk. It was a lot of memories there for me. I walked into that building as an 18-year-old, but I didn't come out at 18. But after 32 years, it was a great career, and I loved it. So very, very soon, you will see that building come down. So I'm very happy about it, and some not so happy. But there are times when there are decisions that will have to be made that you're not going to always please everyone. So I'll look forward to what will become on that property. We don't quite know all of the particulars, but there has been different renderings shown. And I'm sure it's going to be basically what has been shown, with some tweaking here and there and some changes along the way. But I think it's going to be something new, something fresh, something different from which I have seen, because I drove and I went to that very same area for 32 years. So I look forward to what it will become. So after that, we started working on the budget. Our budget for 2022 will decrease the tax rate from 71 cents to a half a cent, which a lot of people may think a half a cent isn't a lot, but a half a cent will allow us to borrow $33 million for streets and drainage by lowering the tax rate a half cent. That's something that has never happened. As a matter of fact, our proposed budget for 2022 will see street rehab of $16 million, citywide ditching program, $4 million, stormwater repair, $2 million, and also sewage and drainage. We can also look forward to 4th Street being overlaid at the tune of $7 million. One of the things that I'm most proud of is that while on council in 2020, we approved a $25 million water bond. And in 2021, we will use $13 million of the American Rescue Plan, which is the largest water revenue bond in the history of this city, in the next 2 years. So that's a lot of improvement that citizens said that they wanted to see. And hopefully, at the end of 2 years, we will see a lot of completion of that $38 million. One of the other things I would like to share with you today is that our city operate on a $300 million annual budget. And we have right now, as of today, 1,315 employees. We are looking